Hey, it's Soul, and this is a video of fluff content. Yep, I'm going to point out some random things about World of Warcraft Dragonflight. Now, they might be big or small, maybe you heard about these already, but hopefully you have not. So if you can help me out, hit the like button, subscribe for more WoW and Dragonflight content, and let's go. Those very few of you who use only the stock UI are going to be in for a treat. Along with the other UI upgrades in Dragonflight, including making your whole minimap disappear, wow, you'll be able to finally view your inventory as a single bag. All you have to do is open your main bag, click the backpack icon to view the options, and then select Convert to Combined Bag. You can still edit what goes into what bags through the same options, or you can separate them once again. There's also an experimental auto-sorting feature that will auto-sort items for you that, well, I hope it stays experimental. I say stick to the one bag for now, WoW team, you're doing just fine. The capital city in Dragonflight is fantastic. It's even more fantastic because it has its own bona fide, usable for all auction house. It's even got a mailbox right outside, and it's next to a flight point, and the whole city layout is outdoors, so it's very easy to hop onto your mount and just glide over to your crafting area or crafting order NPC. I love it, man. This is a city. This is like an abandoned train station. This is a city. And this, you still don't quite know which way is the Great Vault, like 2 years later. And that's because it's actually behind you. The use of the barbershop now will cost nothing. Not real money, not in-game gold. From skin color to eyes to the scale markings to the hair on your visage form to whatever form to gender, it's all free. Now if you dig deep, if you dig really deep, you can spin this to how this is such a bad thing for the game, like, oh, so my identity has literally zero value, huh, Blizz, or something like that. Anyway, let's move on. For a while now, Darkmoon cards were made by the inscription profession. They made the cards and put them together to make trinkets, and we gave those folks money, and then we stopped as soon as better trinkets came around. In Dragonflight though, we're going old school, and going back to where cards will be rare world drops. Odds are that the ace cards will drop from some special mob just like before as well. With these cards you can immediately create a Darkmoon deck as a nice starting trinket. Inscription still has a job though. They can take these cards and make a more powerful Darkmoon box trinket all the way up to mythic item level. The days of needing to return to town so you can respec and redo your stuff between boss fights or dungeons are taking a serious blow in Dragonflight. Talents can be changed almost anywhere without needing to be in a rested area or the need of a tome of the whatever, so those are not coming back for Dragonflight. The only times you cannot change talents are during a Keystone dungeon, a rated PvP match, or while in combat, which I think that sounds reasonable. At the moment there is a cast time when changing talents to the tune of approximately 5 seconds, and it doesn't matter if you're in a rested area or not. Now, I don't really like this, it's kind of obnoxious, but it's still miles better than what we got right now. At first, I did not like the options menu. It's pretty hard to find stuff, and there's just way too much scrolling here and there. But then I realized there was a search option, and now, oh, my world's been turned upside down. You can use the search box to find almost anything in the left-hand menu over there, including finding like that one interface option or a keybind. Type something in the search box, and the menu will instantly filter your results. And while we're here, this is the place where you can change how Drakthir evokers use their empowered spells. By default, you press and hold the button, or you can just press once to charge up and then press again to actually fire off the ability. The thought comes to mind that maybe there are players who would want one ability to be a press and hold, while another is one where they hit the button twice. Maybe there's a macro for that, but I haven't heard of this being brought up yet. At least at the moment, we cannot edit what does or does not show up on the minimap, at least not easily. I tried using the search, and I did make the minimap disappear like I mentioned before, woohoo, but I want to be able to track or not track mailboxes if I don't want that sort of clutter. Tracking herbs and ore also seems to be on your spellbook now, so I'm still waiting for how these options are going to work. There are going to be PvP specific areas dotted throughout the Dragon Isles. Some are very small, like this area Stone Frey Falls over in the Ohn'ahran Plains. But there's a much bigger area in Thaldrazes in the Veiled Ossuary, a mid-sized island mass. Neither locations had anything very important to look at, but I think it'll be neat to have just a taste of PvP, even if we don't have War Mode on. I'm not too sure about the other zones, but these areas are also pretty far out of the way, so you're not going to accidentally fly through or crash land into these areas. One interesting thing about Dragonriding is that if you jump off a high elevation, you automatically start Dragonriding. It takes some getting used to because, let's say you're on your mount and you're pulling a bunch of mobs that you want to AoE down. If you happen to drop off an elevation because you're trying to get mobs, you'll start Dragonriding, which is a state of flying, and any mobs you have will lose you, they're going to reset. Mind you, this is no different to how flying currently works too. This auto Dragonriding feature is kind of smart, because if you jump off a downhill slope but you're not technically falling from an elevation, you won't glide, meaning that you can easily run down a hill while jumping and nothing should happen. But hilariously, almost anything you jump off of that doesn't have its own pathing will activate Dragonriding. So if you jump off a rock, Dragonriding. The slightest edge of a low-hanging cliff, Dragonriding. Doing it backwards, same thing. This is likely going to be refined a little bit before launch because it feels a little bit janky, but for now, I just want to point that out. Here's a neat little trick that also probably will not make it to launch. When going at max speed on your Dragonriding mount, if you pitch up and then cast Skyward Ascent, that's the ability to gain altitude, the ability will snapshot your current speed, which is max speed, and maintain it for the duration of the animation. Point up and you take off like a frictionless rocket. So you'll be able to point your dragon straight up and gain huge altitude even without any Dragonriding perks. This also applies to the Drakthir as well. Get to max speed, pitch up, slam all three of your abilities, and you're catching some serious air. And finally, there's a bit of speculation here. In the Ohn'ahran Plain zone, far to the west, there's a suspicious extension to the zone that isn't immediate on the actual map, but if you zoom out to the world map, there it is. So I tried to investigate, and here is what I found. What? Oh, it's f***ing... What? Hey, I got juked, man. So obviously I ventured to a weird part of town. Odds are good that some sort of structure or landmass is going to appear here, but as for what? There's data mine info that offers a few suggestions, but I'm gonna let you folks read up on that yourselves. Whatever the case, the area is pretty substantial in size. Maybe it'll be unlocked in early endgame as part of the Dragonflight campaign. Maybe it's patch content and this is going to be another endgame mini-zone of sorts. But for now, that's going to be it. Just a few fun things to point out in Dragonflight that you might have missed that maybe will pique your curiosity. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and if so, like the video, subscribe for more content, and I will catch you later. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.